the process for tonight and how you can get to meet candidates and how the candidates will give kind of a quick piece on who they are. Hi, well, welcome everybody, and I'm not going to take a lot of time, but I would like our candidates, when I announce your name, you raise your hand. Tyler. Yeah, he's over here. So you know who's the candidate and who isn't. Dean. Where's he? There's Dean. Yeah. Hello. Hi, Dean. Brian. Hi, Brian. Matt. There's Matt. And Miles. Miles. So, what we're going to do, go have a nice discussion with the candidates as you can until about for another 10-15 minutes. Then I'm going to have each of them come up here and give a short bio, what their background is, and a little bit about why they want to be here. So they're going to come up one at a time. And we're going to break at 6:15 because the event is over at 6:15 if you're measuring. There are comment cards from Jack. Want to put down positive concerns that you have on the candidate, you can do that. Take one. Come on up. A thunderous round of applause.
No. Councilmember Castellano was asking if we could turn the volume up. There are people in the back who can't hear, and I don't have the ability to do that from here, but I'll try and get closer to the mic. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brian Gerving. I currently serve as the Director of Public Works and Chief Building Official for the City of Eureka. I was born and raised in Grass Valley, which is a small town up in the foothills between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe. I began my career in public service in 1995 as a firefighter down there. And I did that as a firefighter and fire apparatus engineer for 7 years before my wife and I decided to make the move to Humboldt County with our one child at the time, our daughter. And both of us had family in the area. With her, it was her parents, with me, it was my brother. And there were no firefighting jobs at the time in the area, so I made the move to the private sector for a few years before coming to work for the City of Eureka in 2006. I began as a plans examiner in the building division, and then became chief building official in 2015, and then director of public works in 2015. Did I say 2015 twice? Yes. Yeah, 2010 for chief building official. And so since 2015, I've felt really fortunate to build a great team in the public works department. We have a great crew that works together. This week I was really proud of the effort that all of them made to keep things functioning for the city and its citizens during a power outage with some pretty short notice. So my hat's off to them, and I really value the work that they do, and I've enjoyed being a part of it. As far as why I'm interested in this position and my thoughts on it, a lot of it comes down to the duty that I feel to the organization. I've had a lot of opportunities. I felt lucky to have had them, and I want to pay that back. I enjoy the work I do, and I want to continue to do right by the city, and both as an organization and as a community. So I love the opportunity to be its city manager, and thank you for coming out this evening.
Thank you, Brian. Now I'd like to introduce Dean Lauder.
Good evening, folks. As Richard said, I'm Dean Lauder. I'm currently the city manager in the city of New Brighton, Minnesota, which is located almost equidistant between Minneapolis and St. Paul, right in the metropolitan area. Originally, I am from Green Bay, Wisconsin, so I do like to make that distinction. Somebody asked me what happened to the Vikings. I said only bad things, which I'm okay with, because I'm a Packer fan, incurably a Packer fan. And I see some of my Midwesterners shaking their heads there. But I Originally went to undergrad school in Wisconsin. I moved to Minnesota to get my master's degree in urban studies, specifically with a local government management focus. I'm a classically trained city manager, and I've been a city administrator or a manager for 23 years. I've been 13 years at my current appointment in New Brighton, and have a lot of experience from my entire career, specifically from New Brighton, that I think would benefit the city of Eureka. So you might ask, why would you want to relocate halfway across the country? Your network's there, your professional life has been there, your academic life has been there. And I would suggest to you, anyone who seriously asks me that question has never experienced a Minnesota winter. Last year we had what was described as life-threatening wind chills of -75 at one point, where people were encouraged to just stay at home, stay indoors, things of that nature. But in all sincerity, my wife and I are looking at Eureka for both personal and professional reasons. We want to have a more fuller life, which means being able to be active 12 months out of the year. We realize it gets a little cold and a little rainy. I'll take that over -75 any day of the week. Professionally, I believe that my economic development background, the projects that I've achieved to affect housing, mainly we're working on a project right now that will create $100 million of development while providing affordable housing, affordable senior housing, so people with fixed incomes have a new place and a good place to live. We believe in community engagement and relationships. The law enforcement officials that I hire are basically social workers with badges. We've gotten thank you notes from people who received citations from our police officers. People of color who have sent thank you notes because of their experiences with our law enforcement officials. We run an efficient city, but an effective city. We're looking at future investment in long-range growth, long-range planning, and sustainability. We'll be the only city in the state in a few years, state of Minnesota that is, that will pay for all of its infrastructure by borrowing to itself. We will not externally borrow after the year 2025. All capital fleet, all fixed assets, meaning rooftops, HVAC units, ladder trucks for the fire department, squad cars for the police department, plow trucks for the public works department, are paid for in cash. So we will be the only state that is able, or only city that's able to boast both of those things in the state of Minnesota. I can bring that kind of financial planning to the city, as well as the economic development background, and I love engaging with people and engaging the public. We've reached out in a variety of formats, whether that's citywide surveys, whether that's open houses, public hearings, of course, but even neighborhood meetings. And frankly, if there's a resident with a strong concern about something, I've even been willing to show up at 5:30 on a Friday on my way home from work to talk about it. So I feel that city management is a calling. It found me, it chose me, and I followed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt Rollins.
Hello. So my name is Matt Brown. I'm the token Oregonian on the list, so to speak. To give you a little bit of background of myself, I graduated from Western Oregon University with my bachelor's in science in 2005. Graduated with my MBA in 2012, and as of next month, we'll have a certificate in public leadership from Harvard University, and that is my educational background. I started out working for school districts in the Hillsborough area, which is a suburb of Portland, and got into city financial management shortly after that when the recession hit. And I have stayed at my career working with communities that are smaller in population-wise, and I have thoroughly enjoyed the places that I've worked with. Where I work with now is St. Helens, Oregon, which is a suburb of Portland, about 25 miles in the northwest of Portland. It is a community that is about half the size of Eureka, but has some of the unique similarities in some of the issues that you are surrounded with. And Through my time at St. Helens, I've had a number of projects that I put a gold star on my door for, one of those being starting a recreation program with the city in a partnership with the school district, as well as working on projects that we have upcoming in the next couple of years, which is a new police station, a new city hall, as well as a waterfront development. I've had a distinct pleasure of working on planning and developing our waterfront district, which at one time was home to the Boise White Paper plant and a couple other mills. That have closed over the last couple of years. The city decided to purchase that property so that we can essentially own its destiny. And so we've had the pleasure of going through that planning process, working with multiple jurisdictions as far as some of the port authorities, as well as the county. St. Helens is the county seat to Columbia County as well. And I believe the experience that I've had in St. Helens will help build this community. And what I like and what the reason I applied for Eureka is that myself and my wife have always wanted to move down to California, and we are looking for that right opportunity. When Eureka came open, it was an opportunity that I saw of a community that had similar issues that I had currently been helping with the city of St. Helens, as well as a community size that, as I see it as a city manager, the decisions and the choices that I make every day, I see the impact on the streets when I go to lunch, when I go home, when I go out to dinner. And that is what brought me to Eureka here, is I like the size of the community that this is. I don't enjoy working for large communities like the city of Portland or city of Seattle like that. And that mainly stems from the choices and decisions that I make on a daily basis. I don't get to see those results and those impacts on the community itself. So that is why I'm here, and I look forward to working with you if given the opportunity.
Miles, where'd you go? Oh, there he is.
Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Miles Slattery. I'm currently the Community Services Director for the City of Eureka. As far as my background, I was born and raised in Del Mar, which is a small town, used to be a small town in North County, San Diego. I lived there all the way up until college. I came up here in 1989 to attend Humboldt State University. That's where I met my wife. Attended school while working at school there. I worked 2 jobs. I worked at the liquor still in Arcata, and I also worked at the Sea Grill here in town. While working here and coming through college, I really developed a love for Eureka, so much so that, you know, I eventually came back later on in life and later on in my career. But I really enjoyed the grit of Eureka. I really enjoyed, you know, going out. Back then. It was a little bit more edgy than it is now. I used to go to the schooner, and I used to go to the shanty, I'd go to the Vista and see punk shows and those type of things. Really enjoyed Eureka because of those things. I really wasn't much of an Arcata guy. I really enjoyed those things, and that's when I first developed my love for Eureka. I also, Patty, went to the Old Town Bar and Grill, but that wasn't much my style. So I left, went back down to San Diego. I worked there for approximately 9 years. I started off as a lab tech, moved my way up through the chemistry, and I became an assistant chemist, and soon to be an associate chemist. While I was there, I started learning about kind of what people meant by municipal milking. I went through that process. I was sitting next to a bunch of people with PhDs, and I was watching them work for, 5 days a week. However, 4 of those days a week, they'd be sitting there day trading all day long. And on Friday, they would come and get their samples. They'd run their samples, and they'd have an error in one of their instruments, and they'd end up getting a bunch of overtime. To me, with the work ethic that I have, it was very hard to be in that organization. I tried to go out, tried to address these issues. It was very much systemic. Couldn't deal with it. Tried to, get other jobs within the city in marine biology, which is what my degree is in, and never really got there. And so when the opportunity arose for the city of Eureka, there was a project manager position. I applied for it. I came up here. I started a stormwater program for the city of Eureka. Moved on to all the permitting for the Public Works Department, and eventually was promoted to Deputy Public Works Director. worked in that position for 2 years, and then eventually we did a reorganization. I became a community services director for the city of Eureka. I think that the projects that we've done are impressive. We've had a really cutting edge way of dealing with things. We're doing things that cities don't typically do, whether it be social services, whether it be running a golf course and running it with a nonprofit, finding alternative revenue sources. I think that the reason why I really want to become the city manager is I think that we can expand those innovative ideas and those cutting edge ideas into all of the departments and find more efficiencies and also provide more collaboration. The reason why I want the job is because I really do have Eureka pride. I love Eureka, and I'm invested in Eureka, and I'm dedicated to Eureka. And so I really cherish the opportunity to become the city manager for the city of Eureka.
You will see another name on here. Paul dropped out today. He did not make the trip. So we are moving on. Tyler, get a plane. Come on up, Tyler.
How's everybody doing tonight? Good. I'm going to talk about myself and my background in just a minute, but the thing that I see when I look across this room here is a community that's here not because they have anything else better to do on a Friday night, but a community that's here because they're concerned about the community and they want things to improve. When I mingle with the different people around here, and one of the questions I asked them, the main question was, what is the one thing, because usually there's 2 or 3 or 4 or more, they would like to see improved or the biggest concern about their community. A lot of different things popped up, but obviously a lot of the hot topics that I'm sure everyone standing here is thinking about. Drug trafficking, homelessness, but also economic development, aging population, healthcare, so forth and so on. These particular things are pretty common across a lot of rural America, in my experience. The reason I'm standing up here is because my confluence of experience, my travels, my life experience, my education, it has brought me to this point to where what I want to do is I want to bring the opportunity for people to have a better life. So my background starts now. I was born in Georgia, in a small town, Thomasville, Georgia. My grandparents had a farm there. 3rd generation veteran. I served about 7 years in the Navy as a naval officer in the Civil Engineering Corps. And that started after Texas A&M, where I got an engineering degree. I served 7 years in the Navy, and then I went into corporate, spent some time in corporate, different capacities, primarily in business development, where I basically took programs or product lines and whatnot and grew them. And then I became a consultant, and I basically helped people grow their passion projects. So people would come to me with either something they wanted to do or they wanted to grow, and I would help them with that. Then I decided to go and continue my education. I got a master's from Texas Tech University in urban development and sustainability, and I'm currently pursuing a PhD in environmental design. And well, what does that have to do with city management? When I look back over my career, the portion of it that was the most rewarding to me was the time where I helped people. Specifically in the community of Camp Lejeune, where I served as the public works director for a large naval hospital. And when I look back on the changes that I made there, they were lasting, they helped people's health, they helped people's careers, and that was the part that was the most appealing to me when I look back over my career. So in returning to public service, what I look to do as a city manager for Eureka is to take a look at economic development, take a look at some of the systemic problems are here, ask the question why the problems are here, and then find some sort of equitable and inclusive solution that can basically help these areas within the community and help the community to grow, whether it's through tourism, whether it's through public entrepreneurial partnerships, taking a look at the homeless situation, finding ways to help with the mental illness and substance abuse that's there, but also working within the various departments that clearly are doing a very good job here, public works, community services, so forth and so on, and continue to implement the elected council members' policies to effectuate
positive change within the community. Thank you.
Thank you all for that. I really appreciate that. And for the next 20 minutes until 6:15, it's an opportunity to meet any of the candidates you haven't, ask them questions. We have comment cards to fill those out. At 6:15, they're going to go to dinner with the council. So thank you very much. We have about 20 minutes left.